If you thought Kylian Mbappé was dangerous before, Madrid has turned him into something colder, sharper, more systematic. Because at Real Madrid he is no longer just the primary weapon in a transition-heavy side. He is now embedded inside a possession-dominant machine that stretches you horizontally before he kills you vertically, and that evolution makes him even more terrifying. At Paris, he often carried the gravitational burden alone. Defenders collapsing early, transitions forced quickly, chaos invited to maximize space.
I think it's quite good. He has a future. He's really, really good.
But in Madrid, the chaos is engineered differently. It is delayed, manipulated, and then released with precision. And Mbappé has adapted by refining not just his explosiveness, but his patience. Positionally, he starts from the left channel frequently, but unlike a traditional winger, hugging the touchline, he operates in the half-space corridor, that narrow strip between fullback and center-back, where defensive communication is most fragile, and from there his options multiply. He can isolate the right-back 1 versus 1, combine centrally with midfielders, drift inside as a second striker, or attack the blind side of the center-back with a curved run. And because Madrid dominate possession phases, defenders are already shifting laterally before he even begins his acceleration. What separates 2026 Mbappé from earlier versions is how calculated his movements have become.
He can do the unexpected, he will do things that you will react, wow. He reminds of Ronaldo the phenomenal, the Brazilian. And he would do things that other ones cannot do. Can he get better? Yes, he can get much better. Much, much better. So he just needs to focus on football. That's the only thing he needs to do.
He doesn't constantly demand early balls in behind anymore. He waits for midfield circulation to move the block, waits for the holding midfielder to lean slightly toward Vinicius or the right-sided overload, waits for that half step of imbalance, and then he darts diagonally, not straight, but diagonally across the defensive line, forcing center-backs to turn their hips while tracking backward, which is the most vulnerable defensive posture in football. His acceleration is still nuclear over short distances, but the difference now is contextual intelligence. He understands when Madrid need verticality and when they need occupation. Sometimes he pins the back line simply by standing high and central, stretching it so that Jude Bellingham or the deeper playmakers can operate between lines. Other times, he drops 5 yards into the pocket, receives on the half-turn, and drives directly at the retreating defense. In transition, Madrid are lethal because they don't counter with desperation, they counter with structure, and Mbappé is the spear point, the first runner scanning for depth, the second possession flips. But now, his off-ball routes are more varied, sometimes curving outward to drag a defender before cutting inside, sometimes holding his run to arrive late at the far post, where tracking defenders lose visual contact. Inside the box, his finishing has become more economical, fewer rushed strikes, more manipulation of goalkeepers, opening his body to suggest far post before snapping near post, delaying shots by half a beat to freeze defenders, and this composure in tight windows makes him devastating against low blocks as well as open field.
Mbappe is the one that, you know, he would, like, obviously he uses pace a lot. His pace is a big factor in his game and it's a good asset that he's got. But he wants to slow you down before he knocks it, where other players don't really do that and they want the momentum to then obviously try and get past you. But he wants to slow you down so much, so then when he stops and goes again, his acceleration is incredible.
Tactically, what makes him nearly impossible to neutralize in Madrid's setup is that you cannot isolate him without destabilizing something else. Double up aggressively on his flank, and you leave central lanes exposed for late midfield runners. Drop deeper to deny space in behind, and Madrid's circulation pins you on the edge of your own box, where Mbappé can receive to feet and attack from a standing start. Press high to suffocate supply, and you risk one vertical bypass that releases him into acres. His synergy with the midfield is crucial, especially in third-man combinations. Quick wall passes around the edge of the area that disorganize compact blocks. Because he is no longer just sprinting into space, he is participating in the manipulation that creates it. Defensively, opponents now show him more respect in structural terms. Fullbacks reluctant to overlap too far, center-backs hesitant to step into midfield, and that caution alone tilts territorial control in Madrid's favor. Psychologically, he carries himself differently as well, less frantic, more assured, understanding that in a side built to dominate possession, he does not need to force every action. The opportunity will arrive, and when it does, his margin for error is microscopic. Physically, he remains elite in burst speed and balance, but the added upper body strength allows him to hold central positions more effectively, absorbing contact when operating as a narrow forward rather than purely wide. The most frightening aspect of Mbappé at Real Madrid is that he now combines individual explosiveness with collective inevitability. You're not just defending a fast winger, you are defending a layered attacking structure, where every pass is designed to move you a step closer to vulnerability, and he is the final executor of that design. You can compress space, you can delay him, you can even contain him for phases, but over 90 minutes, Madrid's circulation will stretch you at least once, and Mbappé only needs that single fracture, that brief misalignment to turn structure into damage.
But Mbappé will, he's got the ability to embarrass you.
Yeah, yeah.
If he gets you out wide, or he could bit of skill, his touch is brilliant, he's raw, pace, he can finish, he can take the game away. And somebody that can take a game away from you through brilliance.
In 2026, the conversation is no longer about whether he fits Real Madrid. It is about how opponents survive a system where the fastest decisive player in world football is now operating inside the most controlled attacking environment in Europe. Because when raw pace merges with tactical patience and elite service, stopping becomes an illusion and prevention becomes a temporary hope.